Good evening, students. Today our topic is fraction. This is the first session of your chapter. We will discuss this chapter in two parts. This is the first part or first lecture. So before proceeding, let us understand what is fraction actually. So fraction is actually a quantity. Fraction is actually a quantity that expresses a part of the whole. It is actually a quantity that expresses a part of the whole. That means fraction is a quantity. Fraction is a quantity that expresses a part of the whole. A part of the whole. It is nothing but it is a quantity which expresses the part of the whole or a part of the whole. Now suppose a circle and it is divided into three parts. A circle, it is divided into three parts like this. It is divided into three parts and you will take just one part of this. The circle, it is divided into three parts and you are taking the one part. That is, you are taking just one part of the circle. So your fraction will be 1 by 3 because a circle is divided into three parts. So whole circle is divided into three parts. That means the denominator will be 3 and you are taking just one part out of three parts. So numerator will be 1. That means the fraction is 1 by 3. Clear? So basically fraction is numerator by denominator. Basically fraction is numerator divided by denominator. Fraction is numerator divided by denominator. For example, suppose example of fraction having one numerator and one denominator, that will be your fraction. So suppose 7 by 11 it is a fraction, or 5 by 12 it is a fraction, minus 2 by 3 it is a fraction. A quantity having one numerator and denominator, that is a fraction, and it is read as, suppose 7 by 11 it is read as 7 out of 11. 7 out of 11, and it is read as 5 by 12 it is read as 5 out of 12. Minus 2 by 3 it is read as minus 2 out of 3, like this, because 11 is the total part or whole part. So denominator will be 11 and you are taking the 7 parts out of 11 parts, that is numerator will be 7. So fraction will be 7 by 11, that means 7 out of 11, like this. Clear? So this is what about fraction. Now types of fraction. Next one, types of fractions. Types of fraction. Number one type is proper fraction. Number one type is proper fraction. What is proper fraction? A fraction whose numerator is less than denominator. A fraction whose numerator is less than denominator, that is proper fraction. That means proper fraction has numerator less than denominator. Proper fraction is a fraction having numerator less than denominator, or we can say denominator will be greater than numerator. Numerator will be less than denominator, that means denominator will be greater than numerator. Clear? So it is a proper fraction. For example, suppose 4 by 11, suppose 3 by 7, suppose 4 by 5, all these are proper fraction because numerator is less than denominator. This one is numerator and this one is denominator, this one numerator, this one denominator, this one numerator, this one denominator. So in all these cases numerator is less than denominator, or we can say denominator is greater than numerator. That is a proper fraction. This is the first type. Next one, improper fraction. Improper fraction is just the reverse of proper fraction. Improper fraction is just the reverse of proper fraction. That means a fraction whose numerator is greater than or equal to denominator. A fraction whose numerator is greater than or equal to its denominator. That means numerator will be greater than denominator or numerator can be equal to denominator. That fraction will be your improper fraction. For example, suppose definition is fraction whose numerator is greater than or equal to denominator. Fraction whose numerator is greater than or equal to its denominator. That means numerator can be greater than denominator, and also numerator can be equal to denominator. In both conditions, the fraction will be your improper fraction. For example, suppose 7 by 5, suppose 25 by 12, suppose 4 by 4. All these are our improper fraction, because in all these cases either numerator is greater than denominator or numerator is equal to denominator. In this case numerator and this is denominator, so numerator is greater than denominator. In this case numerator, this is denominator, so numerator is greater than denominator. In this case both numerator and denominator are equal. So all these are our improper fraction. Clear? Third category is mixed fraction. Third category is mixed fraction. Third category is mixed fraction. Now in mixed fraction, this is consist of two parts. Mixed fraction consists of two parts. One is integer and one is proper fraction. So it consists of two parts. One is integer and second one is proper fraction. Integer is nothing but a number. Integer is nothing but it is a number. That means it can be positive, it can be negative. Integer can be positive, can be negative. Clear? So it is nothing but a number. It can be a positive number, it can be a negative number, and a proper fraction. So mixed fraction consists of two parts. One is integer and the second one is proper fraction. What is example? Example is like this. 4 by 3. This is a mixed fraction because this one is integer part, this one is your integer part. Clear? And this one 4 upon 4 by 3, let it is 2. Suppose it is 2 by 3, and this one is a proper fraction. Proper fraction. So 4 upon 2 by 3 is your mixed fraction because 4 is an integer and 2 by 3 it is a proper fraction, because proper fraction is a fraction whose numerator will be less than denominator. A fraction whose numerator will be less than denominator. So in 2 by 3 its numerator is 2 and denominator is 3. That is numerator is less than denominator. So it is a proper fraction. That means 4 is an integer and 2 by 3 is a proper fraction. That means it is a mixed fraction because it consists of one integer part and one proper fraction part. That means it is a mixed fraction. So this is the third category. Number 4 category is like fraction. Like fraction. Like fraction. Like, now what is like fraction? A fraction having same denominator. A fraction having same denominator but different numerator. A fraction having same denominator but different numerator. That is your like fraction. That means it is a fraction having same denominator but different numerator. Like fraction is a fraction having same denominator but different numerator. What is example? Example, suppose 4 by 5, suppose 2 by 5, suppose 3 by 5. All these are our like fractions because denominators are same. In both these cases denominators are 5. So denominators are same but numerators are different. That is, it is your like fraction. Next category is unlike fraction. Unlike fraction is just the reverse of like fraction. Now unlike fraction is having the same numerator. Unlike fraction will be having same numerator but different denominators. Same numerator but different denominator. That is your unlike fraction, or we can also say that fraction having different denominators. Fraction having different denominators. The fraction having different denominators. The same numerator condition, this condition can be sustained or cannot be sustained. That means if a fraction having only different denominators, that fraction will be your unlike fraction. The numerator need not be same. The numerator need not be same in unlike fraction. The numerator need not be same in unlike fraction. That means the definition of unlike fraction is a fraction having different denominators. We will not mention numerator part, or we will not say anything about numerator part. We will only say that a fraction having different denominators is unlike fraction. The numerators can be same or numerators cannot be same. It can be same or it cannot be same. That is not necessary. The numerator part is not necessary in case of unlike fraction. Only the denominator should be different. Clear? That is your unlike fraction. So just write fraction having different denominators. That is your unlike fraction. Examples are, so different denominators. Different denominators means, suppose one is your 5 by 9, one is your 1 by 3, and suppose let it be 2 by 7. These are your unlike fraction, because both these cases the denominators are different. Both these cases the denominators are different, so it is an unlike fraction. So these are the types of fractions. Next category fraction is, this is very important, next category fraction is equivalent fractions. Equivalent fraction, or sometimes it is known as equal fractions. Equivalent fractions, or sometimes it is known as equal fractions. Both are same. Now what is equal fractions or equivalent fractions? Now, two or more fractions having the same value. When two or more fractions having the same value, that fractions will be known as equivalent fractions or equal fractions. That means in this case, two or more fractions have the same value. Two or more fractions have the same value. For example, suppose 1 by 3, 3 by 9, 6 by 18. These three are equivalent fractions or equal fractions. How? Now see, first one is 1 by 3. First one is 1 by 3. So the rule of equivalent fraction is, we have to multiply the same number with numerator and denominator. Listen carefully. The rule of equivalent fraction or equal fraction is, whenever we will multiply anything to the fraction, we will multiply the same number with numerator and denominator, and the fraction will be your equivalent fraction. For example, if I want to multiply 2 with 1, we will have to multiply also 2 with 3. If we want to multiply 6 with 1, we will also multiply 6 with 3. That means the same numbers are to be multiplied. That fraction will be your equivalent fraction. Now suppose we want to multiply 3. That means we have to multiply 3 with both of this number. That means we will multiply 3 in numerator as well as with denominator. So the fraction formed is 3 1s are 3 and 3 3s are 9. That means we can say 3 by 9 is the equivalent fraction of 1 by 3. Suppose you want to multiply the fraction with, suppose 6. Suppose 6. That means you will multiply 6 with 1 and also you will multiply 6 with 3. So the fraction formed is 6 by 18. That means 6 by 18 is also an equivalent fraction of 1 by 3. Now again, suppose you want to multiply 4. Any number you can multiply, but always remember in mind that the number you are multiplying should be same in case of numerator and denominator. That means suppose you want to multiply 4 with the fraction. So you have to multiply 4 with 1 also and also with the denominator. That means 4 by 16. So these three are the equivalent fraction. That means 3 by 9, 6 by 18, 4 by 16. All these are your equivalent fraction. These will be 3. this is 3. That means this will be 3 also. So this is 12. Now 3 by 9, 6 by 18, 4 by 12. These 3 are the equivalent fractions. Clear? So you can write also here 4 by 12. So all these 4, 1 by 3, 3 by 9, 6 by 18, 4 by 12, all these fractions are equivalent fractions or equal fractions, because all these fractions are formed by multiplying same number with numerator and denominator. Whenever you are multiplying same number with numerator and denominator, the fractions formed are equivalent fractions. Clear? So this is all about equivalent fractions and equal fractions. Now straight come to exercise. So first question, these are all about fractions. There are different type of fractions. So this is the theory part, and we will now move to the exercise. So first question is, for each expression given below, write a fraction. Number 1, 2 out of 7. 2 out of 7 means 2 by 7. 2 out of 7 means 2 by 7. This is 2 by 7. Clear? This is 2. 2 by 7. Because out of 7 means, means whole part. So 7 will be your denominator, and 2 out of 7 you are taking 2 part, that means 2 will be your numerator. So 2 out of 7 means 2 by 7. Next 5 out of 17. So in the same way 5 out of 17 means 5 by 17. Because total part is 17, whole part is 17, you are taking 5 part, that means 5 by 17. So now the first fill in the blanks. 5 by 8 is dash fraction. Now see what need that, check the numerator and denominator part. Numerator is 5 and denominator is 8. That means numerator is less than denominator. Numerator is less than denominator. So it is a proper fraction. Because when a numerator is less than denominator, the fraction is a proper fraction. So 5 by 8 will be your proper fraction, because numerator is 5, denominator is 8, and numerator is less than denominator. That means your fraction is proper fraction. Next, minus 15 by minus 15. Now see, the numerator is minus 15 and also the denominator is also minus 15. So it is an improper fraction, because the definition of improper fraction says when numerator is greater than denominator or when numerator will be equal to denominator. That fraction will be an improper fraction. That means there are two conditions in improper fraction. One is when numerator is greater than denominator and when numerator is equal to denominator. In both the cases, the fraction will be your improper fraction. Now here numerator and denominator both are equal, so fraction is improper fraction. So this is improper fraction. Next, 3 by 10 is a mixed fraction. This is a mixed fraction because mixed fraction consists of two parts. One is integer part, one is proper fraction. Now this 3 is an integer part and this part is a proper fraction part, because numerator is less than denominator. Numerator is 3, denominator is 10, so it is a proper fraction. That means integer and proper fraction, so it is a mixed fraction. 6 by 15 and 28 by 70. 6 by 15 and 28 by 70. Look at very carefully these two fractions. One is 6 by 15 and the second one is 28 by 70. Now in 6 by 15, numerator is 6, denominator is 15. That means numerator is less than denominator. Also in 28 by 70, numerator is 28 and denominator is 70. Also here numerator is less than denominator. So in both these fractions, numerator is less than denominator. That means these are proper fractions. By the definition of proper fraction, we can easily say that these two fractions are proper fraction, because in both these cases numerator is less than denominator. Clear? Now second part. So it is a format of doing mixed fraction. So this is a mixed fraction. This 3 upon 2 by 13 is a mixed fraction. So whenever we want to convert mixed fraction into improper fraction, whenever we want to convert from mixed fraction to improper fraction, the rule is that we will multiply these two number and then add this number. We will multiply these two number and then add this number. That means 3 into 13, multiply 3 into 13 and 2 is added. 2 is added and denominator is 13, denominator is 13. So it is 3 into 13 means 39 plus 2, that means 41. So this is 41 by 13. It is an improper fraction. This is a rule how to convert mixed fraction to improper fraction. The rule is we will multiply these two numbers and then add the numerator, because this is the numerator part. So we will multiply these two numbers and we will add to the numerator, that is 2. So it is done already, and 13 is the denominator part. Now calculate, because according to Bodmas rule, multiply will operate first. So 3 into 13 means 39 plus 2, that is 41, divided by 13. Clear? Next question number 3. Question number 3 says, from the following functions, from the following fractions, separate proper fractions and improper fractions. So we have given some fractions. We have to separate these fractions into proper fractions and improper fractions. So number 1 first is 2 by 9. So let me write just proper fraction number 1, proper fractions, and number 2 this is improper fractions. So proper fractions and improper fraction. Now 2 by 9. So 2 by 9 numerator is 2 and denominator is 9. So numerator is less than denominator. So it is a proper fraction. So 2 by 9 is a proper fraction because numerator is less than denominator. Numerator is less than denominator. Numerator is 2, denominator is 9. That is a proper fraction. Next 4 by 3. 4 by 3 numerator is greater. Numerator is greater than denominator. That means it is an improper fraction. So 4 by 3 is your improper fraction. Next 7 by 15. Now in 7 by 15 numerator is less than denominator, so it is a proper fraction. So 7 by 15 is a proper fraction. Next fraction is given 11 by 20. 11 by 20 also is a proper fraction because 11 numerator which is less than denominator, so 11 by 20 is a proper fraction. Next fraction given 20 by 11. 20 by 11 obviously it is an improper fraction because 20 by 11 numerator is 20 which is greater than denominator. That is 20 by 11 is an improper fraction. Now next fraction is 18 by 23. 18 by 23 is a proper fraction because 18 numerator which is less than denominator. So 18 by 23 is your proper fraction. Next 27 by 35, it is also proper fraction. 27 by 35 is also proper fraction because 27 numerator which is less than denominator. So 27 by 35 also is a proper fraction. So mostly are proper fractions. Only 2 are there which is improper fractions. Next question number 4. Question number 4 says, change the following mixed fractions into improper fractions. Mixed fraction to improper fraction. So first one is 3 upon 1 by 4. Question number 2, first fraction given 3 upon 1 by 4. Clear? So the rule is we have to multiply these two numbers, that is 3 into 4, and then we will add the numerator, that is 1. So divided by 4 because it is a denominator. So now we will multiply first because multiply will operate first before addition. So 3 4s are 12 plus 1 divided by 4. So it is 13 divided by 4. Now see, it is an improper fraction because numerator is greater than denominator. So already we have converted mixed fraction into improper fraction. Next fraction 2 upon 1 by 11. Question number 4. Question number 4, it is 2 upon 1 by 11. In the same way, we will first multiply these two numbers, that is 2 into 11, and then we will add numerator, divide by 11. So 2 into 11, that is 22, plus 1 divided by 11. So 22 plus 1, that is 23 divided by 11. So it is an improper fraction where numerator is 23 which is greater than denominator. So we will solve these questions like this. Next question number 5. Question number 5 says, change the following improper fractions to mixed fraction. Now the reverse is we will do the reverse answers because in question number 4 it says that converting mixed fraction into improper fraction. Now we will convert improper fraction to mixed fraction. That means the reverse. So first one is 81 by 11. Number 2, first one is 81 by 11. Now it is an improper fraction and we have to convert this improper fraction to mixed fraction. So the process is, first we will divide this fraction. Now how we will divide? So just divide 11 with 81. Divide like this. In rough space, you will divide this in your rough space. So 11, 81. So 11 sevens are 77. The denominator remainder is 4. The remainder is 4. Now the rule is quotient, and there is remainder, and there is denominator. This is the rule. We have to write these numbers in this format: quotient remainder divided by denominator. Clear? Now quotient is this is the quotient, so this is 7. Remainder, this is the remainder part, so this is 4, and this is the denominator part 11, so this is 11. So your answer will be 7 upon 4 by 11. Do one thing, just divide this in your main space. Don't do this in your rough space. You will divide this in your main space. Clear? That is the main section. Don't do this in your rough section. So first divide this, and then you will write quotient remainder by denominator. So quotient is 7, remainder is 4, and 11 is your denominator. So that is 7 upon 4 by 11. This is the mixed fraction. 81 by 11 was your improper fraction. Next, question number 3. Question number 3 is minus 209 divided by 7. So in the same way, we will first divide this, do this division in your main section. So 7, 209, just divide normally. 7 2s are 40, 6 9, 7 9s are 63, 6. Clear? This is the division. So the rule is quotient remainder divided by denominator. So quotient is your 29, remainder is your 6. Quotient is your 29, remainder is your 6, and denominator is 7. Now as the question has a minus sign, so we will put minus sign in your answer. The question bears a minus sign, so we will put minus sign. Clear? So your answer is minus 29 6 by 7. Rule is quotient remainder divided by denominator. So quotient remainder divided by denominator, that is minus 29 6 by 7. This is the answer. Last question. Question number 6. Question number 6. 2. The question says change the following fractions. Change the following groups of fractions to like fraction. That means we have given some fractions. We have to convert these into like fractions. So the fractions are 1 5 by 6, 7 by 8, 11 by 12, and 3 by 10. These are the fractions given to us, and we have to convert these fractions into like fraction. Now what is the definition of like fraction? The like fraction definition is a fraction having same denominator but different numerator. Fractions having same denominator but different numerator. That means we have to convert these fractions into same denominator. Only then we can say that these fractions are like fractions. We have to convert this fraction into like fractions, and the like fractions have same denominator but different kind of numerators. So we will convert these denominators into same denominators. Only then we can convert these fractions into like fractions. So to do this, we have to first find out the LCM of the denominators. We have to find out first LCM of the denominators. That means we will find LCM of 6, 8, 12 and 10. Clear? So LCM of 6, 8, 12, 10. 6, 8, 12, 10 equals to. Now find out the LCM of these numbers. So do this in your rough space. This LCM should be done by you in your rough space. Clear? Do it by 2. 2 3s are 6, 2 4s are 8, 2 6s are 12, 2 5s are 10. Do it again by 2. So 2 3, 2 2s are 4, 2 3s are 6, 5. Do it by 3. 3 1s are 3, 2 3 1s are 3, 5. So your LCM will be, just multiply all these numbers. So 2 into 2 into 3 into 1 into 2 into 1 into 5. So your LCM will be 2 2s are 4, 4 3s are 12, 12 2s are 24, 24 5s are 120. So your LCM will be 120. Just remember that the LCM is 120. Remember this, LCM is 120. 2 2s are 4, 4 3s are 12, 12 2s are 24, 24 5s are 120. So your LCM was 120. Clear? Now just write here that LCM is 120. Now we will convert. Now the first fraction is let me say the first fraction is 5 by 6. Clear? So we will now divide this LCM to each of the denominator. Listen carefully. We will divide the LCM with each of the denominator. So the first denominator is 6, that means we will divide 120 by 6. When you will divide 120 by 6, your quotient will be 20, and we will multiply the quotient to the fractions. That means we will multiply 5 into 20 and 6 into 20. So fraction will be 100 divided by 120. I am repeating again, listen very carefully. First find out the LCM of the denominators, and LCM was 120. Now we will divide LCM with each of the denominator. So the first denominator is 6. When you will divide 120 by 6, your quotient will be 20. Just you will divide in your rough space like this. So your quotient will be 20. Now just multiply the fraction with the quotient. Now multiply the fraction with the quotient. That means whenever you will multiply the fraction with the quotient, that is quotient is 20. So you will multiply 20 with the numerator and 20 with the denominator. This is the process. Clear? So in the same way, the next fraction is 7 by 8. Now we will divide the LCM with this denominator, that is we will divide 120 by 8. When you will divide 120 by 8, the quotient will be 15. The quotient will be 15. Now multiply the quotient with the numerator and denominator. Clear? So you will multiply 15 with 7 and also with 8. So 8 into 15, that is 120, and 7 to 7 5s are 35. Carry 3, 7 1s are 7 and 3s are 10. 105. In the same way, next fraction is 11 by 12. So denominator is 12. Also we will multiply. We will now divide the LCM 120 with the denominator, that is 12. When you will divide 120 by 12, your quotient will be 10. So the next step is multiply the numerator and denominator with 10, that is with quotient. So multiply. This is 120 and this is 110. Next fraction is 3 by 10. Now 10 is the denominator part. So divide LCM, that is 120 with 10. Your answer is 12, that is quotient. So multiply. This is 36 and this is 120. Clear? So this is 36, this is 120. Clear? 36 by 120. Now see, all these fractions are converted into like fractions, because all these fractions have denominator 120. That means denominators are already equal. Denominators are already equal. That means same denominator. So all these fractions are like fractions. That means we have already converted these fractions into like fractions. So we can write, just write like this: 5 by 6, 7 by 8, 11 by 12, 3 by 10 equals to, so 5 by 6 means 100 by 120, comma 7 by 8 means 105 by 120, 11 by 12 means 110 by 120, and 3 by 10 means 36 divided by 120, and just write respectively here, respectively. So in this way we will solve these questions. This is 120. Clear? So these are our like fractions. These are our like fractions, because in this case denominators are 120, denominators are same. So when denominators are same, the fractions are like fractions. Clear? So in this way we will solve these questions. So exercise 14a complete. In the next session we will solve the next exercise, that is exercise 14b part. So that's all for today. Thank you.